I recently saw an ad for Kalshi, and I feel like it inadvertently encapsulates three ideas that are particularly detrimental to society. So here's the ad.
If history has taught us anything, it's not to root against the underdog. Right, Peter?
No spoilers.
Right about here is where I skipped and resumed watching my YouTube video, but I was still thinking about the ad. Did I just watch an AI recreation of Jesus' crucifixion as the opening scene for a gambling app? You can argue that Kalshi isn't a gambling app, but I think you're wrong. The ad then continues showing other historical events and figures like Paul Revere immediately after,
Check the group chat!
Amelia Earhart,
I'm sure that's nothing.
the Spartans, the Trojan Horse, all these events in the context of gambling on what will happen. So if you're like me and you only just recently heard about Kalshi, I'll read their mission statement for you on their website. We're revolutionizing the way people interact with the financial world. Our mission transcends the conventional. It's about empowering you, the everyday individual, with the tools to not only voice your opinions, but to capitalize on them. We've pioneered a new asset class that's as innovative as it is intuitive. Event contracts. This isn't your ordinary trading platform. It's an arena where you can engage with events that resonate on a personal level. So that's obviously not a good thing, and herein lies my first problem with the ad. It's Kalshi itself. We all know the golden rule of investing is not to invest with emotion, but Kalshi is saying, hey, what if you could invest in anything and everything that you're emotionally attached to? Wouldn't that be great? And obviously, people are gonna wanna do that because it's way more fun to trade with emotion. There's a reason that it's a rule. It's because if the rule wasn't there, people would be gambling with emotion, putting their dad's entire paycheck and house on Nvidia calls or something. Sure, it's not technically gambling, but in your heart you're gambling. It's stupid. It's stupid. When you're investing, quote unquote, in these unregulated, they say they're regulated, but it's not actually regulated. These markets that you're emotionally vested in, it literally is just gambling. And there's a whole other problem here with sports betting and DraftKings and all of these other platforms, but I'm not going to get into that. In spite of all the legal battles that Kalshi had to fight against for years with the government, that I would have taken personally as a red flag that maybe this isn't such a good idea, Kalshi co-founder Tariq Mansour said this on October 24th.
Could you financialize in anything that people care about? And you know, Kalshi is everything in Arabic. The long-term vision is to financialize everything and create a tradable asset out of any difference in opinion.
So even though I haven't thought out the extent of the implications of a world like this, I know it's bad, right? And I think you know it's bad. I think we all know it's not a good thing. I just think for so many people, it feels so fun and exciting to engage in this new technology that they don't really want to think about that. They're okay to just ignore the potential future implications, because for now it seems okay. It's just so dangerous, the idea of literally putting the casino into your phone and walking around and being able to gamble on literally anything and everything.
So last year, at the same time period, we were at, I think, 300 million of annualized volume. We're at 40 billion now. And it's growing like 20% week over week.
If you want to watch someone talk about this idea more, you can watch Atrioc. He's talked about this kind of extensively and far more researched and more articulate than I could be. But so I'm not ecstatic about how many lives are going to be financially ruined by Kalshi. But let's get into my next problem with his ad. AI. More specifically, AI slop. This whole thing it's slop. So after a quick search on YouTube, I was able to find the ad uploaded by a channel, PJ Ace. And judging by the description, it seems that PJ was the director of this ad, working alongside a bunch of other writers who were apparently distinguished and did cool things. So basically, they wrote the ad, had the idea for it, submitted the idea to Kalshi, Kalshi approved it, and then they begin the workflow. And what is that workflow, you may ask? Luckily, PJ provided his extensive workflow, demonstrating the true labor of love that went into this ad. And so take a look at the workflow that went into this. Write a rough script, use Gemini to turn it into a shot list and prompts, paste it into VO3, edit in CapCut, etc. So literally all the work that he's doing is writing the rough script, letting AI create the shot list and the prompts, letting AI make the visuals, and then he just kind of edits it all into one video, adding a little caption, "Will David defeat Goliath?" This is the laziest creative process I've ever seen. And look, I don't really have anything personally against PJ. He's definitely not a singular case in this space. I just think it speaks to a sad future that isn't even a future at all. It's what we're living in right now, where creativity and passion and just inspiration is completely taken out of the creative process specifically in advertising. AI ads are becoming increasingly common, and sure, no one seeks out advertisements as primary entertainment, but there's something so dystopian to me about a world where machines are generating ads to emotionally manipulate us into gambling our money away on prediction markets of whether Drake or Lil Uzi Vert will release an album this year, or whether the top Netflix movie of the week will be Trolls 2 or My Secret Santa. For the record, I have $100,000 on Trolls 2, it's not even close. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm pining for the old way of advertising and oh, it was so much better back then, ads were so much better, which honestly they were, but I'm not in favor of any I don't like ads. Call me crazy. I prefer not have ads. I just think it's sad, like I was saying before. It's just a business transaction. It's just numbers manipulating more numbers to receive a desired outcome. There's no heart, there's no emotion. Advertising was already bad, and now it's just even worse. But hey, at least PJ got a laugh out of it. That's all that really matters. There's a whole other side to this about Sora AI and just short form content and just the AI plague and how it's infecting that. But I think a lot of those videos are kind of funny, so I'm gonna refrain from talking about that right now. My last issue with this ad is the comedic use of Jesus' death on the cross, not just to elicit a laugh from the audience, but to emotionally manipulate them and elicit the response of joining a platform that seeks to monetize every decision in their life. It's using the crucifixion as an intentionally polarizing scene to hook the audience in. I think there are far worse examples of companies and individuals making fun of religion and Christianity specifically, but I think it's exactly that subtlety and normality that leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. Don't you realize that the entire reason he was on the cross, the only reason this AI video even exists, is because Jesus was hanging on that cross for your sin, because he loved you. That's what it's all about. I'd seen a bunch of these AI reimaginings of biblical events before, and honestly I found them pretty funny, and I didn't really have an issue with it. But it's in this context that I do have an issue with it. The context something is packaged in, and the intention behind it makes a massive difference in how it's going to be received. And it's in this context, packaged within a Kalshi ad promoting their prediction market service, that I just think is in particularly poor taste. And I think this is kind of a widespread issue. It's become pretty normalized for people to make fun of religion and Christianity specifically. Even just look at the way people speak. The name of Jesus Christ is just used as an expression, just something meaningless that goes out into the void, and people don't know why they say it. It's just cultural. It means nothing. There's a complete devaluing of who Jesus is and what he did for you, to the point where it's completely detached from God. And to me, that's so sad that someone could have no idea who Jesus is or what he did for them and how much he loves them in that very moment, and yet they're saying his name every day without a second thought. Interestingly, research showed that Christianity had been declining in popularity in America for years, but since 2022 it's actually been stabilizing and even increasing. So maybe the pendulum is swinging backwards in terms of religious acceptance or popularity amongst younger people in America. I'm not exactly sure, but either way, whether or not that's the case, I think this ad highlights just this dilution of the value of religion in America and in our lives, and just the disregard for a relationship with God. So it's the culmination of these three topics in this one brief ad that led me to give it a second thought, and it even brought me to the Kalshi website, so I guess it worked in a way. Well, while I'm here, I may as well place a bet on Taylor Swift beating Bad Bunny next year on Spotify. Couldn't hurt.